Hey everybody, welcome to Grumpy Acres. You're on the other side of the homestead. So today I'm going to show you a real easy way to prep ahead and get easy ready meals in the freezer. Know where it's coming from, know that you can make it, what's in it, and yeah, healthy way, quick dinner. Alright, today we're going to make some tamales. So these tamales I've been making for years, since I was a kid. And you can use ground corn. This is snack meals. Ground corn, you can easily go and buy masa if you can find it and get that in there. Those are two that you can use pretty darn well. And then we're going to need some ground cumin, some lard, and baking powder and salt. So here we go. All right, so we have 4 cups of the masa mix or corn flour, and then we are going to add in 1 teaspoon of salt. This is the Diamond Real salt, and then 1 teaspoon of the cumin. Just add that on in there, and then we're going to add 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Put that on in there, and then we're going to add. Now this is my beef tallow that I rendered from our cow last year. And you're going to add 1 1/3 cup. You can use, if you don't have that, don't worry about it. Use vegetable shortening or whatever you like. So we're going to add that in there. See if I can get this all out. All right. Then we're going to go in and we are going to add 3 cups of broth. So this is some chicken broth that I did. Canned this up last summer. Just a little bit more in there. Let's see, I got this one done. All right, there's 2. And the 3rd cup we're all set. So these tamales I'll actually make, and I've canned them. And when you can them, you just, if you're pressure canning, go 90 minutes. And I like to really put in the red sauce. If I'm doing that, you don't have to. You can always just make up a cheese sauce or sauce later when you eat them. Now I'm going to take my rings off. You want to make sure your hands are clean, nail beds are clean. And this is where we got to get a little bit dirty. So, but it's all good. So you're just going to go in, you're going to mix everything. This really is a hands-on project. So if you want to wear gloves, you can wear gloves. You know, if you're just doing it for your family, which is what these are for, then I just make sure that my hands are clean. Plus you want to be able to feel the texture, and I can't really feel the texture when I'm wearing gloves. So I like to do it this way because you don't want it too sticky. Sorry about the clanking. The German Shepherd, he's got long nails, and I can't get him clipped because he's a butthead. He won't let me do it. So come on in here. Make sure you get it stirred really well. It's going to take, you'll notice towards the end, it's going to take some strength because you got to get through all that dough. So what I did too, I have my corn husk here, and that's what we're going to put the tamales in. And I soaked those overnight. You just want to make sure that you get them workable, so you want to just soak them for an hour or 2 in warm water. You can do that. And that's where we want it. So this is very commonly, families will get together to do this task, and they'll just kind of make an assembly line. And a lot of these often are served at Christmas holiday, but they're good anytime. So your filling, let's talk filling. So I made a chicken filling. I instant pot the chicken, put it all in there, and then added chilies, tomatoes, that kind of thing, and seasoning that I wanted in there. So there we go. See that consistency right there is where I want it. So I did that, and then let that cook, and then I went through, deboned everything, and so that's what we're doing is chicken. And you could do beans and cheese. You could do beef. So the way I do the beef is used to be a long time ago, you could get meat in a number 10 can, and so a lot of times that would be used just because it was quick and easy. But we're over the quick and easy, and so I go to the freezer and I get some roast, either rump roast or whatever we got in there left over from the cow, and I put that stuff in the Instant Pot, get that going, pot roast, just season it up, put the chilies, onion, and everything in there, and then you're ready to go. All right, like I said, this is a messy project, so it just is what it is. So now I had everything out of the way, will anyway, come in. Oh goodness. This is the chicken mix that I did. You can do this ahead whenever you're ready. Get it done, and then just set it in the fridge, and then have it when you're ready to go. So let's see. I'm going to move this over here and this over here, just so that you guys can get, well, I'm going to move them both over here, just so you guys can get a good idea of how this works, if you haven't done it yet. So, like I said, I soaked these, and then I'm going to bring this in, and I'm going to take my masa, and probably about that much, and then you're going to come in and spoon it around, get it spread on there. Now, when this cooks, so you can go to steam it, it's going to expand. So you want to make sure you don't do it too thick, or else you're going to have a very, very corny, thick tamale. Unless you like that, then do it that way. So now we've got that mix in there, and then we're going to come over to our chicken into this, and we're going to put that on there, like that. And I did shred this when I was deboning it. So I got that like that. That's about right. And so then I'm going to come in, and I'm simply going to tuck, roll, and roll. Now, I've always done it this way, never had a problem. Some people will, well, let's see, I'm going to leave this like I had it. Some people will do this route. So again, we're going to let our dough. Spread that in there. Just like that. Put our chicken in. That feels about right for me. And then you're going to go kind of like a burrito. That tomato chili in there. All right. So then you're going to come up this way. And then tuck this back just a teeny bit. And then come up this way. Right. Doing the same on both ends. And then come over. And roll it. So just make sure everything's tucked in there. So now you got it that way, right? This is not necessary. Some people will do this. And let's see if I can get a good piece off there. There we go. And this is great. You could do this if you were doing, say, 3 different types of tamales all at once. And you could do this, but again, like I said, it's not necessary. And then, let's see. I got lost in there, so that was sticky. Great, and then you got your little knot. So just like that. And so that's 2 different ways to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish some up because I have a lot to do. And then I'll come back and we'll show you get everything into the pot. All right, guys, be right back. Okay, so I've got my first batch of tamales ready to go. And I got 21 out of them. And I just want to let you know, if you ever get to a corn husk that gets a tear in it or something like that, then go ahead and you'll just lay down another one and then you can fold those together, no big deal. So you're not wasting anything. I've got, as you can see, quite a bit of chicken left. So I'm going to be going all night. I'll probably end up doing 100, 125, somewhere in there. And get those, and maybe we'll take them out to Midwest Preparedness Project or something. I'll throw them in the freezer and do that. So let me just go ahead and I'm going to show you how to get these in the pot, how we get our pots ready. And so what we're going to do, if you have a pot like this, you can get a tamale pot. You don't have to have one. And you're going to put water down in the bottom. And I just use my grate from the, and I hope you can see this. You probably can't. And so, but I use my grate from my canner. And then I take aluminum foil over it. And then I poke holes in it so that I'm creating a steamer. And then if you come over to this pot, this is actually it's made by Gourmet Chef, and this is actually one that's made out of heavy metal, and it's a pan fryer. Some call it a stir fry, pan fry. I guess it just depends on what you want to use it for. But I like it because this is one that I can put on an open fire. It's that nice heavy metal. And I'm going to have so many tortillas. I'm going to have so many tamales that I'm going to need two pans. So I've turned this into a steamer. I've done the same thing. And so I've got my canning grate, put the foil on it, poked holes in it. I have water down at the bottom in the well. Hopefully you can see that. It kind of bowls in. And so I've got my water here, and then I put that down on top of that, and then I'll lay my tamales on here, but then I can also spread them out and around the pan, and then I'll cover this with foil. That creates a steamer. So I would actually be able to do that over an open fire, which we'll probably maybe do at some point, and just to see how great it is. So I was happy to find this pan. Very, very universal. So now that you've got your steamers ready to go, you're going to come in and you're going to set your tamales in. And so I just set them in like so. You want to just make sure that you have enough room for the steam. As you can see, hopefully, you're just coming in, putting them in like that, give them enough space. This is that one that we tied. I did end up having to tie another one, which is no big deal. So I'll show that to you here in a second. And the reason why I tied it is because, like I said, I needed to double up the corn husk, and one was giving me problems over the other. But I showed you how to solve that problem. So you have that. All right, get all these in here. Okay, and then throw that lid on. Steamer's 100% set. Going to come in, setting everything up at a medium to high fire because we're just steaming it. And once this gets going, we'll steam for about 20 minutes or so, and then come back and check on it. So we'll see y'all in about 30 minutes. And we'll go from there. Okay, everybody. So sorry that took way longer than 20 minutes. So I had forgotten that tamales can actually take up to 4.5 to 6 hours. And so it depends on your pot, how many you have in there, and all of that. But basically what you're looking for, so I do have one that is done, and what you're looking for, you want the corn, you want the masa, and the corn husk should easily separate. And when that starts easily separating, you know your tamale is done. So depending on what size you do, that's going to depend on how long you're going to have to go. So we're going to go ahead and go into this pot, and I'll show you what that looks like. Cool. You want to be careful when you're lifting your lid because there's a lot of steam that's going to come out. But I don't know if you guys can look at that, but that's kind of what those look like. Some of these are still going to have to go. So it means that you have to make sure that you're checking your pot because you're going to have to add water since this is a steam process, okay? So now let's go over and we'll plate one. I'll show you how it pulls apart. All right, so now we've got the tamale here, and we're going to kind of bring this apart, and you can see how this separates. So you're just very carefully going to come in, you take that apart. Remember how we did that, and then you're just going to flip it, pull it, voila, there's your tamale. So it's hot, I'm not going to be able to pick it up, and so we're going to let it cool off. But at this point is when you would put, if you wanted a cheese sauce or red sauce or anything like that. So guys, this is a real easy thing to do. You can also go ahead and you can take your tamales and leave them in the corn husk. You can also take your tamales, and if you wanted to do them, so like I'm doing 100, but those will go in the freezer because we're going to take those somewhere else. And so, but if it was just G and I already have just from the chicken, I think there's almost 50. And I would go ahead and take those and I would just put them in a jar. Some with sauce, some with not. And just throw them in the jar, process in a pressure canner for 90 minutes, and then voila, that's done. So if you're going to do that, you do not need to go ahead in the steamer and do the full 4.5 to 6 hours. Just figure out where they're stable, because remember, you're going another 90 minutes. So just cut that down. Once you start doing this and getting this process, you're going to figure out what you're looking at, what texture you're looking for, all of that. So no problem. And then we have something kind of cool to show you, because remember that commercial pot, I measured it. It's about 23 inches across. I found some on Amazon, not the same brand, but the same style. And they were done, ran about $54.99 in there. And those are available. So, and those, they say, are also heavy metal, and you can do those over open fire. So let's go take a look at this pot. We're just going to peek in because it is steaming and everything's cooking, okay? So here's what we got going on. We're very careful here because we're a gas stove, but I'm trying to keep as much steam in there as I can so I don't have to continue filling it up. But we'll just pull the foil back a little bit and watch out for the steam. And there's what we got going on. So we have Tamale Central around here, and those are looking really good. Hey, I'm impressed with this pot. These have not been in here as long as the other pot, and this looks like it's doing better. Okay, guys, this is what I got. So enjoy your tamales. Fill them with whatever you want. You can also cook some tamales in the pressure canner, excuse me, in the Instant Pot. And I'm sure you can find something on Google or whatever, YouTube, to do out there. But if you want to save time, do the Instant Pot. All right, so some of my salsa that I made between ingredients from Life Done Free and Grumpy Acres. So let's see. And yes, I know a lot of you know that joke. Tag. So anyway, let's come in. See what we got. Look at that chicken. Just comes apart. Oops. That's good. Cheese sauce and salsa. I know not everybody likes cilantro. cilantro would go great on this, some sour cream and guacamole. And then I'm all in. Alright guys, hey, until next time, keep rocking new recipes, keep trying new things, keep trying to figure out how to get things in the pantry, and until next time, go live a life done free.
Thanks, Milo.